Hi.
Hey.
Okay, so this morning I came down here, and it's up at 6, and came down at 7:30, and I noticed the line was already formed, right? And so that kind of took me, because I wanted to be right there. That's what I wanted. That's what I desired.
You wanted to be right there.
Yeah. Oh, and that guy's got my vote, by the way. And so then he didn't have my, there was an issue with my form not being available for me. So as we're trying to, Jean and Barbara and our friend over here was looking for the form, I noticed the line was growing, right? And not what I wanted, right? Contrast. So instead of, I can relate to the previous gentleman with, abuse and that kind of thing. So I want to say natural instinct, but a kind of like learned behavior would be get upset and to be like, oh man, But I took a moment, took a step back to a broader perspective, and your words rang out to me. Are you enjoying the contrast? Right? So now, I was like kind of like easing back, like, oh yeah, it's okay. It's all good. And, everything totally worked out to my benefit. Karen and Rebecca saved me a seat. I made 2 new friends. All these beautiful things. But then, now we came in here today and you said, are you enjoying the contrast? Are you appreciating the contrast? And I said, yes, very. And you go, I don't believe that you are. Could you elaborate on that specific thing? I mean, is that correct for me to look at something and there's something that I'm not wanting and like accept it, to be okay with it?
Well, the process that you followed obviously was a good one.
Yeah.
Remember, we said you can tell how you're doing first by how you're feeling, and next how it's manifesting. So we'd say you're doing all right on that. We also want to amplify something that you described that you experienced deliberately, and that is you began to step into the feeling of shortage consciousness. Shortage of space, shortage of chairs, shortage of good seats, shortage of getting what you're wanting. Caught yourself in the process, began breathing deeply, did something about it, and didn't let the momentum of that get going. In other words, you experienced some contrast and used it to your advantage. It helped you to focus into what you were wanting, you see. And the reason that we were eager to have a conversation with you about this is because we know that when sometimes what our physical friends think that we're saying is you want to avoid contrast or you want to avoid any negative emotion, as if you're doing something wrong when you find it, when what we're really saying is contrast is part of the variety. It's all part of, Jerry always said, we're just molded into place. We're just molded into place. So you had an opportunity when your form was missing and when the line was long to allow some momentum to go in the direction that would have taken you to a seat not as pleasant and held you in a vibrational attitude that would have kept you from lighting up for us so that we did not find you. But you didn't do that. You molded it into place. You recognized from the anxiety or the frustration that you were feeling that you were beginning to introduce some contradiction into a vibration that had been clearer. Undoubtedly, you were thinking to yourself, wait a minute, how did this happen? I got up early. I had very clear intentions. What went wrong? And that's what sometimes people feel is that Esther sometimes will say, I don't believe I ever really had a negative thought about that. And we say not specifically, but in general, there must be something that is going on. As a result of having the negative emotion, feeling it a little bit, catching yourself deliberately, stepping back, as you say, relaxing on purpose, acknowledging that it's all good, massaging into the thought, adjusting your vibration, not only did you not allow the negative momentum to take you where you didn't want to go, but you got the momentum going more powerfully in the direction of what you did want. And so sometimes manifestations take a little while to unfold. There's not instant manifestation here. You didn't chill out and suddenly disappear from out there and show up in the hot seat. We didn't come out and find you here. What are you doing here? I don't know. I was out there a minute ago, feeling bad, then I got feeling good, and poof, here I am. Didn't happen like that. It happened in a logical, sequential way. It happened with the buffer of time in the way that things always happen, you see. So what you are demonstrating here for us, if we were standing in your physical shoes, is exactly the way that we would live life. We would not be holding ourselves to unrealistic standards of always only spewing sunshine and light. We would acknowledge that there are things that we want and there are things that we don't want, but we would be leaning really in the direction of what is wanted. And, as you just did, we would be, for sure, making the best that we could make of every situation. We would never amplify something unwanted and deliberately increase the momentum in the direction of unwanted.
Okay.